So let's talk about a weird conspiracy theory. Let me put on my tinfoil hat for a hot minute, because this popped up yesterday, popped up last night. And I was going to talk about it last night. I was going to do a special standalone video for this last night. I opted against it because I didn't have all the information. And I wanted to do a little bit of research, do a little bit of digging, and see what I could uncover. And that comes back to this post on StarWarsLeaks Reddit. Saying here, Kiri Hart, the head of the story group, is no longer showing up on the Lucasfilm leadership page. Now, a lot of people out there were like, oh, damn, this is big news. This is big news. Kiri Hart is kind of like right underneath Kathleen Kennedy in regards to the development of the stories for Star Wars. You know, she formulated the team. She's been a big part of that. She's been showcased multiple times in interviews and articles. People know who she is. In fact, when there was all the rumors over the summer of Kathleen Kennedy stepping down before her 3-year renewal in September of last year, the thoughts were, who would take over Lucasfilm? Would it be Dave Filoni, which is a fan favorite? Or would it be Kiri Hart, who people did not want? The fandom menace did not want Kiri Hart. They didn't want nothing to do with that. So her being not on this list, that's pretty bad. In fact, if you click on the thing here, this is the page that pops up when you try to find Kiri Hart's old page. In fact, bringing up the going back to the internet Wayback Machine, I can find this right here. This is the page that was last snapshotted on April 12th, 2018, saying Kiri Hart, Senior Vice President of Development. Kiri Hart has worked in film for more than 20 years as a story analyst, writer, and development executive. In 2012, she helped form Lucasfilm Story Group and currently serves as its development lead. Hart is a graduate of Stanford University and a California native. All right, makes sense. Fine. We all know she's Senior Vice President of Development. So looking here just at the leadership page, we see Kathleen Kennedy. We see Lin-Wen Brennan, who apparently is like an evil version of Kathleen Kennedy, according to some blogs I've read. But here, this row right here, this top row right here, Rob Bedrow, Jason McGatlin, Paul Southern, and Pippa Anderson. These are the senior VPs. Or at least those three, Paul, Jason, and Rob, are the senior VPs. So Kiri's image should be right there. Now, I can't find a Wayback Machine showing us that. But when you go back to the Internet Wayback Machine and you find out that April 12th, 2018 is the last time that particular image was shown, that page was snapshotted, it gives us an interesting idea in regards to maybe what happened. Now, I only say that because it goes back. The Wayback Machine took 2 snapshots a month in 2018, I think once a month in 2017, and so on and so forth. So it was actively archiving that page at least once a month. And then in April 2018, it stopped. Now, April 2018, is there anything significant about that month? No, there's not. There's nothing significant about that month at all. But it is 4 months past The Last Jedi. It is 4 months past the Fandom Menace, or the birth of the Fandom Menace. People coming out on the internet and saying, I don't like The Last Jedi. This movie kind of sucks. And then all of a sudden, we don't get to see much out of Kiri anymore. Now, in regards to everything else, I'm not too sure. My speculation, my theory is this. The fan backlash to The Last Jedi, I think that's maybe one of the things that maybe kind of like, you know, maybe was targeting her. Because everyone was focusing their attention on Kathleen Kennedy, and shit rolls downhill. And since Kennedy's still at the company and Kiri isn't, makes you really question where she is. Makes you really, really question that too. Did the fan backlash to The Last Jedi cost her job? I don't know. But the other question here is because she led the story group. She's also responsible for this stuff. Was the upcoming failure of Solo something that solidified her exit? Now, if you recall, all the reports said that the early ticket sales for Solo were high. The pre-orders were high. Everything was high. It was looking good. But then the movie came out and failed to meet expectations. And again, everyone turned their attention to Kathleen Kennedy and like, she gotta go. She gotta go. That was a big thing. Even John Campea, who is who loves Disney so much, where it's like, you know, he would never say a negative word, came out, was like, yeah, Kathleen Kennedy just can't control the mobs anymore. She's not the person who should be running the show. Now someone's gone. A high positioned executive is gone after 2 major screw-ups. Fan relations, based upon a really crappy story that they let a guy who can't write a good screenplay direct the movie that he wrote, and completely subverted all expectations by shitting all over J.J. Abrams. and then the failure of Solo. But the failure of Solo wasn't even like her fault, but it still kind of rolls down here. There's a guy right here by the name of Stephen Fetter. And Fetter here is currently serves as Vice President of Development and Film as a member of Lucasfilm Story Group. His first project was Solo, a Star Wars story, right? So his first project upon coming into Lucas was Solo. And we know how that turned out. But still, he's the Senior Vice President in Development and Film. He's not just development and what the leadership is that they said she was, what they say she was. Serves as development lead, right? So she was an expendable person. She was ultimately an expendable person. And that's the interesting factor when you look at the situation involving the fallout over The Last Jedi and Solo. Everyone turned their attention to Kathleen Kennedy, thinking that the head was going to roll, that you lop the head off the snake, that the body would die, and that would be it. That would be over. It would be good. It would be done. It would be all said, wrapped up nicely in a little bow, and Star Wars would be made great again. But it wasn't her. It was somebody else. Now, I don't know if this is a certain. I'm not speaking to her talent or her quality as an employee or anything else, but business politics are as they are. We all know this. Thing to consider here, though, is last night I decided to look up Miss Hart. And I reached out for comment. I found her Facebook. I sent her a message, polite message, asking for a simple yes or no answer. I didn't get a response by the time this is happening right now. I'm recording this. So I waited almost 24 hours waiting for a response. Didn't get anything. I wanted to give it ample time to do my due diligence as a journalist, I guess. But a lot of people out there are really, really, really hammering this home. Like it's score one for the good guys sort of thing. I don't know. I don't really view it like that. I don't really look at it like that, but that's just the way I am as a person. But that being said, I do believe that Lucasfilm Lucasfilm at this point has to say something, because if they don't say something, it kind of gives the people that are speculating the power. And that's the problem with not coming out to correct the record. People are going to believe what they're going to believe. They're going to believe it right. You know, the first thing you hear oftentimes is what you believe the most, especially if it falls in line with your own personal bias, which is one of the reasons why I fully suggest people watch movies that they may not like because a reviewer they do like said that it sucks, because it could be wrong. Person's opinions are subjective. What we need to deal with is objective facts, which is why I reached out and I asked for an objective fact. And if I get one, I'll let you guys know. But in the meantime, this is where we are. This is what I think happened, knowing what I know about politics and movies and the way business structures work. And at the same time, Lucasfilm will have to say something because they don't want to give the narrative to people who may be wrong. So hopefully we'll find out more. But as always, I do want to know what you guys have to say about this, because it's a very interesting world to live in.